Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Talkin' Tunes. I am your host, Frank Walsh. Thanks for tuning in today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see from these two handsome guys sitting next to me, you are going to be in for a lot of fun today. One of them whom you may be familiar with because he is now a three-peat offender. He's been on the show before. And he is bringing his good friend with him today, and they are part of a group called the Dreaming Insomniacs. So you are going to be hearing some great music in a little while. And in the meantime, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Joe Motte and Mr. Max Dziewit. I got it right, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
We dodged that bullet.
We dodged that bullet.
Welcome,
guys. How are you, man?
Oh, we're doing
Give me one of these
here.
so we don't have to brock. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
So, Joe, well, you've been on here, 3 times now?
Yes.
And maybe about a year ago, give or take?
This is the first time in almost 2 years.
2 years?
Yes.
Yeah, see, when you're old as I am, you forget.
We've been trying to make it happen, but it just fell apart every time.
Well, the winter time came. It was a bad winter.
It was a very bad winter, yeah. A lot of snow.
Yeah, so what's been going on, man?
Got my life together after the last time I was on here. Went off, found my first place to live. It was a nice little studio apartment.
Good for you.
And I met my fiance, Denise, who's here right now in the audience.
Congratulations.
We've been together for almost a year.
Good for
we
you.
have a house, one family house, basement, first floor,
Nice.
third floor. Play a lot of music there. So yeah, it's nice, and I'm working a job as well as the music on the side. So
Good for
it's
you.
nice to have.
Well, we're going to talk about your music in a second.
Definitely.
So what about you, Mr. Max? How did you, fit into this little conglomeration with Joe?
The equation. I met Joe, like 5 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And
You've been able to put up with him for that long?
he disappeared for 2.5 years on me.
Okay.
That happened.
We were doing the Dreaming Insomniacs thing. I was the drummer at the time, just because he was like, I want to be the guitar player. And I'm like, okay, I can hit things, so I'll play drums. And that's literally the conversation. I said this to your face. It was hilarious.
Absolutely.
And we started the band. We tried to do a record, which that record did not end up coming out. That record ended up going under the wayside for, I don't know what the reason was. He had already decided he's going to move out west. And
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
We did do a record, but
Yeah.
it was more of a
I was not on that
low
record.
budget, recorded in a hotel room over the course of a week kind of record. So it was just to be like, hey, we got music, we can put it out. We can
Well,
do
hey,
this.
look what Jackson Brown did with Running on Empty, right? He kind of did the same kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
Kind of did the same thing. So, so you guys been together, but, you may not have played for a while, but your music kind of lives on.
Yes. Yes.
Now,
of course.
Joe, since you were here the last time, I noticed during some of the warm-up today that your music has evolved over time.
Yeah.
Talk
of course.
about how that evolution transpired and how you went from where you were the last couple of times you were on to where you are now.
So the music used to be more of like acoustic, like, songs about like depression and things like that. And I just got sick of playing stuff like that. It doesn't really solve any problems. If anything, it makes people worse.
Okay.
So what I decided to do is change the way I wrote about things. When I went to Missouri, like I talked about the last time I was on here, I had a lot of experiences, and I learned about how numbers in life are very important, and prime numbers are really important. So a lot of like philosophical messages and deep meanings I put into my music just for the sake of putting it in there because it makes it more fulfilling. So like a song that I'm going to play today called The Puppeteer, it's in the perspective of someone who thinks the world's going to end. And essentially what it is it's like a warning to the people like, hey, if you don't like choose positivity, things are going to happen. And if they, and if that happens, we're going to run out of hope. So, it's just about maintaining positive messages while also the Dreaming Insomniacs has become a 60s revitalization. So I'm sick of like a lot of the stuff I hear on the radio nowadays. A lot of it's washed out garbage, and honestly, I can make, in my opinion, music that I like more on my phone.
Cool.
So what I do is I make everything as authentic as possible, especially in live performances. I have a band play with me and things like that.
Well, you've sent me a lot of clips of your music, and it's all been pretty darn good.
Of course, and when I play live, even if I don't have a full band, I'll use a programmed drum track if I have to, which sounds just as good.
Drum machines have no soul, Joe.
I know they have no soul, but listen, if you need to play a show and you don't have a drummer, it's good for a backup emergency. And it's as long as it's made from a genuine place, that's all that matters.
Would you like me to come back later and you guys continue?
I couldn't resist.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Continue what you were saying, of course.
But let me just jump in with one little editorial comment here when you were saying about music being sad and depressing and all of that.
Yeah.
I heard something last night about the state of the music industry, and they took something like 500,000 songs and did a cross-section of analysis of what those songs were about.
Right.
And they were saying that the music of today has been trending into sadness
Right.
and depression and just depressing kind of music.
Right, that's pretty
and
much
that
it.
you
All the
know
pop
I
music.
did not hear as to why that is, but my guess is that because people, you know, they have their nose in their computer all day and
Right.
nose in their phone all the day and nose in their technology.
Right.
And as we know, especially on Facebook and some of the other social media sites, a lot of depressing stuff there. Sometimes social media becomes almost like an obituary
I
page.
stay off.
Yeah.
I don't even use Facebook anymore.
Yeah.
I post my music and then like stuff about my family, and that's it. Like I don't even go on because
Cool.
everything is just a spiral of negativity that I just can't. put
Well
up with.
said. Now, Max, you said that you started off playing drums. I mean, I heard you riffing on the guitar here. You're pretty darn good there, young man. How many other instruments do you play, or what made you do the transition from drums to guitar?
The funny thing is I'm not even a drummer.
Okay, you just like to hit things.
I started out as a cellist in
A
the
cellist?
fourth grade. Yes, in the
Wow.
fourth grade. That's where
Classical?
I started. Very much so. And then a year later, I got my first electric guitar, which is not that one. That's the second one. And then I ended up pursuing that more and ended up enjoying it more. And just had this rush of, this is awesome, I'm a rock star.
Cool.
All that kind of thing. I ended up taking that all the way to the Berklee College of Music.
Yeah, I went to Berkeley.
You
Which
graduated from Berkeley?
I'm 7th semester Berklee College of Music
Good
student.
for you. You couldn't get into a good school? You had to settle?
There's the argument there. It's right now between number 1 and number 2. It's Berkeley and Juilliard.
Yeah, it's a
They
great
flip-flop
school. I'm
dailies.
joking.
I know.
I've
I will
had
talk
many-
smack about it all day.
I've
though.
had many people
They're
speak.
too
Talking
strict over
Smack,
at
very
Berkeley.
good.
That's
That used
why
to
I
be the
didn't
name of
go.
an old show of mine. Talking Smack, SMAC, Smack is the name of the studio. But anyway, I've had many guests on here, graduates from Berkeley. Do you remember that moment when you had that guitar? Did anyone influence you in particular? Maybe did you hear Clapton or Hendrix?
I heard John
or-
Mayer.
You heard John Mayer.
Room for
Okay.
Squares had just come out. My dad bought it like on release day. I still have my original release copy. And I heard that and I'm like, I want to do that.
Cool.
That's a quote. And then I went and found out he went to Berkeley, and then the rest is history.
I don't know if I asked you this, Joe, before, but do you remember that moment when you decided that you wanted to be a musician and play the guitar and sing? Was there that, eureka moment that you can say, I want to do that?
I would say there was more so moments rather
Okay.
than a moment
All right.
specifically. I was like 2 years old, and I went to Boston with my mother, and I believe it was my cousin, and we went to see the Monkees.
Wow.
Not a real band, but something. That was my first concert. And then in
That's
2000
arguable. We'll talk off camera about that.
In 2005, true, yeah.
I've seen them all individually other than
They were good.
They're unbelievable.
When I saw her,
Nesmith and all
that's
those
a good
guys,
song.
they can play.
Yeah, they actually played their own instruments when I saw them.
Yeah.
Saw the Allman Brothers in 2005,
Nice.
early September, and then a week later, I saw Green Day. I've seen them 5 times. Really, really good live. Not the best musicians in the
Yeah.
world. People are a little too harsh on them, but they put on a great show. They always have and they always will. And I believe when I first saw one of their documentaries on one of their American Idiot, I believe it was
Okay.
their live tour, I saw that energy and just pure passion on stage, and I was like, I want to do that. Yeah.
Cool. Now, how easy?
Both of our stories then, being
how-
around in the Bible.
How
Yeah,
easy
pretty
or,
much.
or difficult was it for you to, pick up that guitar and play? I mean, was it work for you, or did it come somewhat natural, almost like that gifted talent, or was it a lot of work for you?
Like, I've had some people, like, I took the lessons thing, but I'm mostly self-taught.
Okay.
The struggles really came when I had to play for others and go, okay, I have to reach this goal, this goal, this goal, or I'm not even going to be paid attention to. That was the hard part. Sitting in my room and playing Green Day riffs all day is natural. I've been doing that since week 3 of playing the instrument.
Cool. What about you for your evolution? Was it work for you to learn and progress?
Well, at first I was kind of slow with it. I was practicing 4 hours a day, and it took me a long time just to get the progressions down really, in a comfortable way. But I put a lot of time into practicing. I even played shows in my really early days. I've been playing music for 5 years. And in my really early days, like the first couple of months, I did go to a couple of open mics and played, but it did not sound very good at all. Excuse me. I put a lot of practice and time and effort into getting my guitar playing where it is. I'm definitely not a lead guitarist. I'm more of a rhythm guitarist. So the on stage like badass work is more him than it is me. So
I'll ask you one quick
good
question
melding of the
before
two.
we have you get up and play. How would you describe or categorize your music? Are you in any particular kind of a niche to
Well,
describe your music?
Our first album is acoustic folk punk, whereas
Okay.
the second album is psychedelic indie folk pop rock.
Okay.
And then the B-side compilation is more of alternative. So it's a little.
So you
we
must
do a
have a
little bit of
business card this
everything.
long to put all that on there, right?
We dabble. For all you know, we could come out with something ridiculous next month. You
Cool.
never know. But
He could put
we
out a
probably
death
won't.
metal record for
I
all
could-
we know.
I could put out a Christian death metal record. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to have an opportunity right now to sit back and relax and hear these gentlemen play. So,
Hi, Mom.
why don't you do that and listen to Joe and Max.
Distraught sound in the distance, it calls me. The screams of hysteria, madness, it haunts me. Though was once of the future that left behind, the aftermath you seek is not the one in mind. Rally up your loved ones, the new dawn is coming. Brought to one another by the one who is hiding. Like what in front of us, he is pulling the string. Power is so blind that you could not see. Puppeteer, puppeteer, here comes the puppeteer. Puppeteer, puppeteer, here comes the puppeteer. Prep all the soldiers for the war is here. Don't you know that the message is so clear? It's something in your life and the time all wrong. Pay attention to the lyrics of this song. Rally up your loved ones, the new dawn is coming. Brought to one another by the one who's hiding right quite in front of us. He is pulling the strings. Are you so blind that you could not see? Puppeteer, puppeteer, here comes the puppeteer. Puppeteer, puppeteer, here comes the puppeteer. Whoa! Puppeteer, puppeteer, here comes the puppeteer. 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 Whoa! Puppeteer, puppeteer, here comes the puppeteer. Puppeteer, puppeteer, here comes the puppeteer. Puppeteer, oh puppeteer, yeah puppeteer, oh puppeteer. I was on my horse with my son on a warm rainy day. Them and my cowboys were shot in the rain. They knew I had fled when the killers all skipped town. Nothing prevented me from hunting them down. Went to their small town. They looked, oh, they looked around. Came to me with guns, forward which way I won. You don't go messing around with another man's sons. Some of them fled to a deserted town, while I put the rest in the ground. They knew I was hot-tailing them, they knew I'd hunt them down. Some took a hostage and got trained in that heaven town. But they did not know what then they'd be next to be found. Went to their small town. They looked around. They came to me with guns, forward which way I won. Don't go messing around with another man's sons. Went to their small town. They looked, oh, they looked around. Came to me with guns, full ammo and it's 2-1. You don't go messing around with another man's son. Young leaders get bruised, the older ones they lose. Which side do you choose? The red one or the blue? Who is it that you'd say is in charge? Is in charge? Orange man that can't do anything hard, anything hard. I bring you here to question it all, question it all. No one's gonna catch you, no matter how hard you fall. Run, run, jump, jump, run. Run straight into the sun. Make it easy for us right now. Please please run right into the sun. Young dumb leaders get bruised, the old ones they lose. Which side do you choose, the red one or the blue? How is it that you think life would go, life would go? You had just one chance to run the show, run the show. I bet on my soul that you mess it all up, mess it all up. No one's gonna help you, no matter how much you need up. Run, run, jump, jump, run. Run straight into the sun. Make it easy for us right now. Please run right into the sun. Stand the light. The young dumb leaders get bruised, the old ones they lose. Which side do you choose, the red one or the blue? Hit it, Max. Run, run straight into the sun. Make it easy for us right now. Please run right into the sun. Young dumb leaders get bruised, the older ones they lose. Which side do you choose, the red one or the blue? Thank you.
You didn't disappoint.
Oh yeah.
You didn't disappoint.
We aim to please.
Wow. I told you, ladies and gentlemen, that you were going to be in for a treat. But how can the folks at home find the music? Let's say the stuff that you just played, or how can they go out and reach you or find you? And why don't you talk about some of the venues that you play and some of the things you may have coming up?
So for the shows coming up, we're keeping it on the quiets because there's some big things coming.
Well, as far as specifics, you don't need to, but you're playing all different places.
Yes,
You play around mainly around where? What areas do you play?
We play in Central Mass. We play everywhere we can.
Okay.
Played at PA's Lounge a lot,
Yep.
and Out of the Blue Art Gallery
Cool.
out in Boston, Somerville, and Cambridge.
Cool.
As well as we plan to play at the Middle East in the not too distant future.
Wow, that's cool.
You can find our music on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube Music, Bandcamp, Tidal, Deezer, SoundCloud, and 150 other smaller online platforms.
Cool.
To find the lyrics and the song info, go to thedreaminginsomniacs.bandcamp.com, and you can download all of our music for free on PC and Android if you just click 0, and if you choose to pay what you want.
Cool.
You can even get it on Apple too if you go onto the computer and download it for free, and then put it onto iTunes and then put it onto your music storage on your phone. So
Cool.
There's a way that everybody can get the music for free. We're more about if they listen to it rather than to buy it. It's more fulfilling because they get to hear it. That's all that matters
Cool.
to us. We're not in it for the money. We're in it for the love of it, and it's because of the passion that drives us to the point of where we are.
Well said.
That brings us to this point. So thank
Do you want to give any shout-outs to any other of your band members or any other people that might be on your records or people you want to give a yell-out to?
Yeah, 996 is still a thing. We're working on a new album called The Rustic City.
Okay.
And it's going to feature Brian Burns and Willie DiNardo.
Willie DiNardo, my buddy Willie, he's been on the show.
Oh yeah, I helped him get the slot here.
Did he buy a new bathrobe yet, or?
No, he still wears the same one.
Does he?
He's good people though.
He
Like
is,
Willie.
great guy.
Got good music too. Have you checked it out?
I have.
The Rookie is a
He sends
really
me his
good
stuff.
EP.
He's going to be on the show sooner than later.
Awesome. Yeah, he's going to be doing some stand-in drumming for us as well. He's been wanting to for a couple of years, so
Awesome.
I just had to run it by him. So
Awesome.
we might be playing with Willie DiNardo. You never
Cool.
know.
What about you, Max? Anything you want to give any shout-outs to, or
Well, yes, and
let
Justin
anybody at
Arena.
home know?
Justin Arena's good.
Well, There ain't much I have to talk about. I have not much going on right now. The main thing is working with Joe and seeing where this crazy ride takes me. Yeah. Hopefully we're on a tour bus by September or something like that. I'd love to be on the bus.
Well, let me put it this way, and I always tell people when you make it big, I want backstage passes and good seats.
You get it right away, Frank.
You know, and no brown M&Ms in the bowl either.
You got us.
All right,
No
all right,
brown
Van Halen.
M&Ms.
You got us our first TV performance. Of course, you get backstage passes.
All right. Now, I think
VIP
that you
seats.
have...
The M&M rider, I can't make any promises.
No, you know, we can't leave without giving a couple of special kudos to our little two beautiful guests in the studios.
Oh, yes. Hi, Denise.
And then Liz in the corner
Yeah, so we have...
Two lovely
in our
ladies.
studio audience.
Yeah. Well, thank you both for coming on today. Great. And so, guys, always a pleasure. One of the enemies of the show that I say almost every time is the clock.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to thank you both for coming on. Joe,
Of course.
always a pleasure.
Likewise,
Max,
Frank.
hopefully we'll have a chance to see you again,
Yep.
and feel free
I'll
to come
be
back.
around.
And, you know, I'm glad you had the chance to come on today, and I had
Me
some
too.
fun. Thank you.
I'm sorry about the last time that we had to reschedule. I feel bad about that.
Not a problem, not
Glad
a
we could
problem.
make
But
it
here
still
we are
happen.
now.
Yes, exactly.
And we're here.
Yeah.
2 years, but we've made it
You
happen.
made it happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, as always, I want to encourage you to go out and support your local musicians.
Yes.
Go out and see these guys. Oftentimes, these places have no cover charge. Go in, have
Free
a
shows.
drink and a pizza, and you're going to hear great music just like you heard today. There are many places around. Go to the jams, go to the different venues. Support your local musicians. I want to give special thanks again, as always, to my award-winning director, Roxanne Morse, and all the people here at SMAC. So, for Joe and
Yes.
Max and myself, I am Frank Walsh, and as always, tune in and tune on.